All right, greetings and welcome back once again. This is Amuna, and I pray everybody is doing well. I wasn't gonna come and do this one, but I see this little theory starting to pick up steam, right? And I'm all one for interesting theory, but for me, the math has to math in on these theories that we have. So I came across a brother across the pond. We're gonna play a little bit. He is in England, and he brought some information that came from Reddit. This already sounds like a he says, she says story that somebody posted. I'm going to read what the somebody posted. Then I'm going to read some of the comments. And then I'm going to read why I think this is questionable. So he's reporting on a story that said the trust fund that her mother, Karen Talley, established to pay each of her children a sum of 250,000 at specific trigger ages like 30, 45, and 40. Well, this I don't know where this picked up from. This was this a conversation? I don't know. Hence why Chantel removed the 250,000 from the account. It was her trust fund money that she received when she turned 30. I know this is entertainment, but sometimes we be going, wow. For those who don't know, this is talking about the family of Chantel, and I'm just breaking down, and I do this anywhere when it comes to religion, when it comes to business, when it comes to relationships. You look for the red flags, okay? And it's just really critical thinking. That's all it is. What's going on, Judah? We're going to do a little critical thinking today. That's it. Pedro didn't, quote, earn $250,000 by working in a factory and pretending to sell houses. Chantel didn't, quote, earn $250,000 by working in a hospital for a year. Her mother is so overbearing that and makes those comments, harvesting the American dollar because she actually has assets to protect. Her mom may be kooky, but she has protected Chantel from the hanky-panky boy Pedro. Bruh, when we're building a straw man, right? You weave all of these things into the narrative. Like, for instance, just looking at how this whole thing unfolds, you have people who hate Pedro, you have people who are riding for Chantel. And just in passing, because I don't really got this much time, right? I'm like, wait a minute, it seems that we have a short-term memory. And if we have a short-term memory with things that's on record, how short is our memory in our own personal lives? All right. So I'm gonna jump over to the brother's page and just read some of the comments. He presented this and he said he agreed. And he thinks that there's a trust fund because it all makes sense. And Pedro is not entitled to any money, this, that, and the third. Someone else named Pixie44 said it does make sense, this theory of the trust fund, right? If it's true, then Pedro is all kinds of scary for chasing her around, trying to get the money. It really shows how it was just a big scam by Pedro and his family. Once someone starts saying something, just in general, anything, if we are emotionally vulnerable for whatever reason, we start to weave it into our narrative of how we're seeing it. It begins to color our reality, right? So because you have some conversation like, oh, Pedro's a scammer, this, that, and the third, when something happens, our mind automatically begins to try to go to a place to try to make it all make sense. Right. So we say, yeah, because they always said he was a scammer. So this crazy harebrained theory actually makes sense. Let's go to somebody. Now, I understand why Karen told Pedro that he was going to have a fantastic divorce. I'm sure Karen made sure that Chantel was protected. Now they're buying into it and furthering the story, right? Like I said, I love a good conspiracy theory, but bruh, this one got me shaking my head like, wait a minute, pump our brakes. Okay. Someone else says, I found it hard to believe that Chantel and Pedro earned that much money and save it all. Now it makes sense. Because when something in our environment, in our everyday lives, is not adding up, this is where conspiracy theories are born. For the holes in the conversation, for missing information, we go about surmising what could be the reason. And now everybody's jumping on this. I think it could be the trust fund. I don't even know who put it. They said it was from somewhere on Reddit. Don't know. The person goes on to say, Chantel can fight this, especially if she got Pedro to sign a prenup. If Chantel is smart, she should keep the house and not sell it for like 20 years. Pedro, as an owner, is still responsible for taxes and upkeep unless they reach a legal agreement. Like, they're going in, aren't they? Chantel could leave there, force Pedro to pay the expenses, thus recouping the funds that a judge may grant Pedro from the $250,000. What are we doing? Anyway, so it goes on. Somebody else says he was chasing the money he didn't earn. Disgusting. He is the true blink of the family, the real gold digger. I'm like, dang. Right now, Pedro's probably over there rolled up in a ball somewhere, bro. Now, I'm not capping for Pedro, but let's see here. Somebody else says a joint account is for the household. A husband and wife shouldn't have separate accounts, especially, or should have separate accounts, especially with the divorce rates. So, anywho, let us take a look at this, shall we? Just for you know, a little bit of common sense. I also saw that the brother updated some information to say that he was able to locate their business that they formed, right? Because a good theory needs to consider all of the possibilities before we just jump out the window on one thing, right? So hold on one second. One second. Okay, so the name of the LLC, they got all of their business up here, right? The name of their LLC is Pedro and Chantel. Wait. Where did it go? LLC. Okay, that's the name of it. So let me pull it up real quick. And I'll share my screen. Because before we jump out the window on a Reddit post, we got to take a look at something. We should, at least, anyway. And that goes with anything. If you're trying to chase down a partner, if you're trying to get some understanding of what happened, you need to consider all factors, and you need to kind of, a little bit, it helps to emotionally distance yourself from the outcome. Because oftentimes when we don't, and I'm talking from looking for family members, doing DNA testing, if you emotionally distance yourself from the outcome just for a minute, then you can clear your mind so that you can consider all things, as opposed to being emotionally wed already, and therefore you make it become what you want it to become, right? That's what I see people doing, this whole groupthink thing. Anywho, so let's go down this before I bust out my thoughts. Hold on. I said bust out my thoughts. That was funny. Okay. So shout out to those people who found us the LLC. Look at this. It's called Pedro and Chantel LLC. It was registered in 2019. It is a domestic liability company, right? So when you form an LLC, you can then have a business bank account. So this is a collective business bank account. Okay. Gives you the company ID. It gives you his whole name. It is an active entity and has been operating for 3 years, 4 months, and 16 days. Now, one must ask themselves something. The end code is arts, entertainment, and recreation, independent artists, writers, and performers. Can you or anybody else tell me what you think would be going, what funds? People are saying this is a trust fund. First of all, why would you open an LLC in 2019, okay, with Pedro, and then have your trust fund money go there? That makes no sense. So it is for independent arts, writers, and performers. Okay. What are these two on the screen doing collectively that would make such an account something that they would establish? Everybody in the class, say it with me. What would these two be doing collectively that arts entertainment would be the LLC that they would form with their names on it, that would entitle him to a portion of the monies in the account? People are like, oh, them bums, where did they get $250K from? I can't believe it. What would they be doing? That bum was working at a warehouse and she just became a nurse and they was broke. Now, granted, In the beginning of the episode where I went to revisit and they were broke, and Karen was all like, yo, you should get a prenup. But they didn't even have rings because they were broke. People are like, prenup for what? So like, yeah, because there is an inheritance. How about this theory? These two appear on a show, an entertainment show. These two get paid per appearance. Where would the show or the network TLC deposit the monies that they appear? Where's the money going? Ding, ding, ding. There's a possibility that their monies could be deposited in the bank. Why? Because the name of the show was 90 Day Fiancé. That means one person could not get paid without the other because they wouldn't even be there. It is a joint business venture. They are agreeing to expose themselves to the internet and the nation for some type of monetary compensation. So this, in addition to their everyday lives, is, let's just say, a side hustle. Okay? Somebody might be like, but Amuna, 250,000? But wait, there's more. After these two appeared on 90 Day Fiancé collectively, they received a spin-off. And the name of the spin-off was A Family of Chantel, which was actually, you talk about Pedro ain't do no work, which was actually a phrase coined by Pedro himself. So Pedro's adversarial relationship with Chantel's family, or I should say Chantel's family adversarial relationship with Pedro, opened up the door for the spinoff. This is why y'all like watching it, myself included. Why? Because it's quite entertaining and they are being paid. So 4 seasons of Family of Chantel plus 1 season of 90 Day Fiancé equals money in the bank with both of their names on it. Hence why Pedro kept saying, just give me my half, just give me my half. Why don't you just give me my half? Why did you take it all? Why didn't you just give me my half? Let me see if I could get that part. Is it making sense? So this whole trust fund, I don't know why sometimes why did we have to jump out the window on the trust fund conversation when we're only thinking one is a nurse and the other one works at a warehouse? They get paid. Now let's see, how much do they get paid? How much do you get paid to appear? Okay, it's not a big amount, but you do get paid. So let's jump over here. This is why some of these theories, I just be like, man, come on. We could do better than this. We can do better than this. These are people's lives, by the way. So, you know what I mean? If you were out there like this, you wouldn't want people just spinning all type of stuff about you. Okay. Now let's go over to how much we think they get paid. And then we're going to bust out our handy dandy calculator. Okay. This is called research, peoples. Research. Okay. I'm like, brother, I expect better from you. You know what I mean? What are we doing? Okay. So this over here, it says oh no. This one is the what you call it? Let me see what you have up on your screen here. Oh, how much do they get paid? According to, this was back in 2018, overall, how much people get paid on 90 Day Fiancé. Cast members get paid, this was back then, $1,000 per episode, $2,500 to film the tell-all, which equals $14,500 for a 12-season episode. Did we hear that? So, and this was according to Us Weekly. Let me jump over to the other side. So let's pause because we're gonna have to. When we have a theory, like some people say, Amuna, well, how did you do blah blah blah? We have to critically think. Emotionally, we want to hate whoever we want to hate. Pedro, Darcy, whoever, the person in your life, your baby dad, whoever it is, I don't know. But before you get to that point, we have to be honest and say, could they be having another source of income? Why open an LLC and nothing is going in there? So they asked, maybe they made an agreement. We're going to keep that money there. We're not going to touch that money. Who knows? We don't know the conversation. We weren't there. So according to Cheat Sheet, stars of 90 Day Fiancé receive $15,000 for an episode and $2,500 to appear on the tell-all. So it's between $1,000 to $1,500 per episode. And there's about 14 episodes in the series, and $2,500, so $2,500 for the tell-all. Considering Chantel's appearance in season 4 plus 2 seasons of her own, no, they have 4 seasons of her own. So Chantel alone, okay, Chantel alone. Let me get out my handy dandy calculator. Chantel alone for 5 seasons, okay. She's at $7,500. I mean $75,000 times 2, because it's also Pedro, because Pedro was right there. They're at $150,000. Okay. No. Wait. A little guesstimated would put her potential earnings in the $50,000 range from TV appearances alone. Now, when you get up to what is it? What did I say? 15, right? 15 a season. So far we have them at $150,000 collectively if they never touched a penny from all of their appearances. If they never touched a penny from all of their appearances, we have them at $150,000. Now, people are claiming he's fake selling houses. The man is on the thing. He says he's employed here. So let's say they start working now and they start to also invest into their they also start to put money there collectively. We don't know what other appearances they had. We don't know what other sponsorships came about as a result of them doing what it is that they're doing. Many things happen when you appear on 90 Day Fiancé. You understand? So we don't know other avenues that they explored to be able to collectively reach to where they're jointly putting money in their account. So all of that's on the table. All of that's off the table, and the only thing we could conclude is the mama Sharon gave $250,000, and you think Sharon would say, what account would you like me to put it in, darling? And then she puts it in the joint account with the guy who is scamming her? That makes no sense. That makes no sense. That makes no sense to me anyway. Let me know if it makes sense to you. Let me know if I can be heard. Oh, wait a minute. It doesn't make any sense. So I'm not going to really make this long or belabor the point. I just wanted to put a little bit of something out there to say, hey, the money could possibly be coming from their collective efforts. And this is why he chased her. It's not funny. He pursued her. He was in hot pursuit all over the city. And when he got to her, she didn't say, oh, Pedro, you're lying. That money is not yours. You're not entitled to it. You know what she kept saying? I'm fair. I just moved it because you were moving large sums. She didn't say you're a liar and that's my trust fund account and you're not supposed to get none. So therefore, if the mother is saying Chantel is fair and Chantel is saying of herself that she is fair, then what are we? And Pedro is saying, just give me my half. That leads me to believe that's the collective money that the two of them earned. Let's just play this again. This is the collective money that both of them earned from their exploits. Okay. Now let's listen to what he says again.
Fuel up with a Wawa app and get 50.
And that's my critical analysis of where the money could have come from. So where he went wrong was, if this is their collective money and he's moving large sums, it spooked her and he should have had the conversation.
She talking like it's her money. And you know what she told me one day? She told me one day, like, if you divorce me, you have to pay me because I bring you to the United States. And maybe she don't do get her payment. Hey.
So he said, he said,
like, it's her money.
Wait.
She moved. I got your check. She got a check. She work right now. We in her hands. We all that money. I've been working hard for that money, and she took it. She took it like It's her money. And you know what she told me one day? She told me one day, like, if you divorce me, you have to pay me because I bring you to the United States. And maybe.
So remember, if you get a $1,500 on a parents, that means his mom's is getting paid, her peoples are getting paid, River is getting paid. All of the people who participate in the episode are getting paid, including Pedro and Chantel, who the story is circling around. And if, like the article said, they make fit, for those who just joined us, I'm just putting a little critical thought on this here. If they get paid roughly $15,000 just for the episode alone, not for any other sponsorships or any other thing they get from being family of Chantel, if they, and that happened 5 times, plus their other investments or whatever they put, that collectively would be their money. Sometimes we like to justify bad behavior because we are emotional. And according to what he's recollecting, she told him already that she's going to make some funny moves if he ever divorces her. Someone says, Joseph said, or they should say he did steal from her. How in the world he thinks he's entitled to half of $250,000 is laughable. He needs to show his W-2 form and what he earned when deducted cost of living, rent, blah, blah, blah. The prenuptial wouldn't work because the prenuptial, this money that they encountered, if this is coming from their TV appearances, happens after the prenup. So when he married Chantel, she had no money. Therefore, whatever they earn collectively is what goes to both of them. I'm just saying. What was else I was going to say? You know who else? What's going on, Tarisha? Who else have a similar situation like this and it was messed up and people forget? And he got for his portion. Let me pull him up. It's an oldie but goodie. Sometimes, again, I don't know. I don't want to be what you call it, but somebody comes from another country and all of a sudden they has to be the scammer. No American or nobody here can be a scammer. Only people coming from another country. I think that's a bit biased sometimes. Let me see if I could get the clip. Hold on. Wait. You know who else did this? I'm going to give you a little reminder. A little reminder of who else did this. A little person named Angela. Remember Angela? Angela could not be on 90 Day Fiancé without Michael. However, I can't find it right now because I'm doing it off the fly. I do remember when Michael was in his feelings. Why? Because Michael could never get his visa to come to America, and Angela was taking the collective money because he's not here. So where are they going to deposit the money? They're probably going to need, I don't know if the behind the scenes, they need a joint account or what. But if Michael is not in America, I don't know how the setup is of how they're going to deposit the monies. So if he's trusting Angela to receive the monies, which rightfully a portion would be his, and she takes it and does a lipo facelift, and what else did she do? Gastric bypass. And Michael's over there crying like, yo, Angela took my money. Angela took my money. We forgot that part? We didn't forget that. And now she over here talking about Michael, it's all your fault. Hold on one second. I think somebody captured it. Wait a minute. So in the same way that one could say, oh, people take advantage of people in America, Americans can also take advantage of people in other countries. Another thing, because I feel like a little ranty today. When, what's the guy name? Garrick. Oh gosh, that guy, man. And his wife, I didn't even do a video on that. She was doing the most. And Seeking Sister Wife. And she's all breaking down like, oh, Rebecca, Bert, oh, you said you were going to come. And they was like, oh, she asked him for a large sum of money. And then the family was like, how much? And they were like, 10,000. And he sent it to her. I thought to myself, if Rebecca's not her name, Roberta, if she appears in a show, then Roberta is due money. So is the money that she's asking him for the money that they owe her for appearing in the show? It's a show, people. This is entertainment business. But let me see if this is the clip I'm looking for, and then I'm gonna roll this up. Like, subscribe, and share if you like a critical approach.
All Angela do all day when they talk on the phone, Angela like to talk to him.
No.
Kelsey anyway.
I can't find it right now. But if you remember, Angela does take the money, and when she keeps trying to get all these surgeries, she gaslights Michael, telling him he don't want her to be sexy, this, that, and the third. She paying thousands of dollars for cosmetics and all this stuff like this, while he still has no visa and no passage to America. Okay? So, if this is the collective account that they have collectively, should she have moved the whole 200K plus K? No. Should he have been dipping without talking? No. Are they both moving shaky? Yes. Is it all going to come out in the wash? Yes. That's their business. But I just wanted to come on here real quick because I thought that this new theory that's running around is crazy. Okay, let me read a few more comments. Someone else with some critical thinking says, why on earth would Chantel put that money in a joint business account? Makes no sense. She should have had it in a personal account for her access only. So Pedro was going to go with the storyline that half of that was his. Wow. So in the beginning, she asks a very pertinent question, and then she goes on to believe the theory. The question is, why would she? I don't think she would. If she could move 250 into a different account, why would she put an inheritance into a joint account? It makes no sense. Someone else says they looked it up and inheritance cannot be taken in a divorce. Oh my goodness. Somebody says, I'm so glad you cleared this up, as it was crazy amount. How outrageous that greedy poo-poo made out if it was their money. I hope she doesn't have to share it in the divorce. So yeah, we're glad that a lot of these people are not judges, because to be a judge, you kind of have to get all of the information before you put out a ruling. But anywho, that's my thoughts. Let me know yours. Put it in the comment section below. On some of the other ones, they're like, oh, Mooney, you're off. And I'm like, yeah, we'll just wait though. We'll wait and see how off I really am when the facts come out. So if that's it, everybody have a blessed day. Enjoy your rest, and we'll be back for another video. Oops, let me run this right quick.